Hello everyone. So today is the first lecture of StaadPro. So let's begin. Now, whenever you open your StaadPro file after installation, never open it by simply double clicking it. You always open the file by right click and selecting Run as Administrator. So that is the first step. Never open your StaadPro file by simply double clicking it. You open it by selecting with a right click and selecting Run as Administrator. Then what will happen? This is the dashboard that you will be seeing. Then your next step is that you have to select Indian design codes, this one, and when you select it there will be a green light. It means that whenever you will make the design, the software will make the design according to your IS codes. You should not select the other codes because since we are in India, if we make any building in India, we have to use the IS codes. Okay, so that is the next thing that you have to remember. After that, let us select new project. Then you can give a file name. So let us give number 1 as the file name since it is the beginning, and we can select a folder where all the output files will be saved. So I have generated a folder named 1 in desktop, and this is the file location. Then since let us make a 3D model, let us use space because it is a 3D model. Then we use the units of meter and kilonewton. So that is the setting that you need to do next. Meter, kilonewton. Then file name I am giving since this is the beginning. Then space. Okay. Then let us see what is happening here. The units you have chosen is not consistent with your base unit setting. That means let us cancel it. That means we have given us unit of meter and kilonewton, but by default StaadPro is set up with some other unit. So let us change the default setting of StaadPro, because the default setting of StaadPro is not matching with the units that we are defining. So we have to modify the default setting. So go to file, configure, and base unit we have to use metric, because then only they will consider meter and kilonewton. So apply. So we have selected metric unit. Now they will they will accept the meter and kilonewton. So now again space, I am giving the number as 1. Output folder I have already selected 1. Then meter and kilonewton we have selected. Then next, add beam. Now one thing that you need to remember is in StaadPro they do not call the beams as the columns as columns. They call the columns as beams only. So add beam means we will be adding both beam and column. So StaadPro does not have different namings like columns. StaadPro considers the naming of columns as beams only. It's just that columns are vertical beams and the beams are the horizontal beams. So that's why we have to select add beam. So further down the calculations, you will also see in the reports that they name the columns as beams. There is no mention of the term columns here. So StaadPro considers the columns as beams only. They have no different naming. So column is vertical beam and normal beams are the horizontal beams. So now we will make the frame by using beams and columns, isn't it? Frames are made by using beams and columns. So that's why we have to make the frame by adding beams. So let us add beam here. Finish. So now this is the screen that is generated after we select the add beam option. So now let us try to make a frame. So then we will go to geometry, then run structure wizard. So when we go to run structure wizard, there is a screen that will pop up. So here you can see there is a problem happening. The screen is not getting pop up. So I will show you the error why it is happening, because I have not opened the StaadPro file by clicking run as administrator. But if I would have opened it by clicking run as administrator, then I could have proceeded with this command run structure wizard, where we will be able to make the frames. So let me now close it. Then again let us open the StaadPro file. Then run as administrator. Then Indian design codes, new project. So let me write it as 01. So let me just give one the folder uh, desktop. I have created one folder which is folder is 1. So okay, in the desktop there is a folder 1. So space, then meter, kilonewton, next add beam, finish. Now geometry, run structure wizard. See, here it is opening now. So that's the thing why I told you that you have to always run the software as administrator. Now since we will be making a frame model, so let us use frames. Now it's a building model, so let us use bay frame for buildings. So now let me show you how to make the frame. Now if I start by this one, let us take a very simple frame like this. Very simple frame. Okay, so let us take the length as 4. Let us here take the length as 5, and let us here take the length as 3. Okay, 4, 5 and 3. So if I see the axis, then x, y, z, right? So along the x the length is 4, along the y the length along x length is 4, along z length is 5, and along y the length is 3, isn't it? So you need to keep that in mind. So z is 5, y is the height, and x is 4. Now let us go back to the problem, to the software. So x is 4. So let me again double click, always double click the bayframe. So uh, length is the x. Okay, length is x. So length is 4. Then number of bays, since it is only one bay, so number of bays is 1. Height is 3. Number of bays, that means number of stories along height. So base means parts. Okay, there is only one part, right, along the length, which is x actually. Height also there is one floor, so one bay. And along the width also there is just one part, this is 5. So number of bays along width is 1. So if we now apply, we'll get this one. Okay, now we have, this is the model that we have made. So now this is we have to transfer it to the main screen. This is not the main screen, we have to transfer it to the main screen. So we have to click it and we have to transfer it. Now we don't have to do anything here, just click OK and you will get this fellow. So we have given along the width 5, along the length 4, and along the height 3. So this is how we give it. So now we can start the model now. So you can see here along the length, if I write this is beam number 4, the length is 4. Along the height, if I click anyone, double click, left click, length is 3, and it is termed as beam instead of column. So in nomenclature also the column is named as beam in StaadPro. And along the width, this one is the width, so the length is 5. So that is the thing that you need to know. So this is our frame. Now base means what? We have given one bay, means this one is one bay. There is no other parts along the length, isn't it? This is just a single part. Along width also one single part. Along height also one single floor. So that's why it is bay number 1. So along if there would have been different parts along the length, another part, and along the width also another part, we have to give the names. We have to give the numberings also. That we will do later on. We will go step by step here. You have to first remember all the basics. Okay, so that is how we make the frame. Now if I right click here and go to 3D rendering, then we can see, we can just left click and hold the mouse and we can just rotate the frame and we can see it from various angles. Just hold the mouse left click and you can just rotate it and you can see it from any of the angles. So I hope I am clear with it. Then let's close it. Now when we see the 3D rendering, we see that they look like threads, isn't it? Because we have not given any cross sections to the columns and the beams. So let us give some cross sections. Let us give some volume, dimension. So now let us go to this command of general. Then let us go to define. Then what are the cross section that we will give to the beam. Let us select the horizontal beams. Let us give a rectangular cross section to the horizontal beams. So let us see, this is the ZD and this is YD. So YD, let us give 0.5, that means 500 mm, and ZD let us give 0.3, so 300 mm. To let us give add. Then again for the columns, let us give a circular cross section. Let us give around how much? Around 300 mm column, 0.3 meter diameter column. So given, close. Now we have given this database to the software. Now what we will do is we will assign these sections to the beams and columns. So this 0.5, 0.3, we have to assign it to the horizontal beams. So you select this. When you select this, this becomes blue. Then you select the beams here by holding the control button, or else you can also do it in this manner. You can choose select, then beams parallel to what? X. Again select beams parallel to what? Z. So that becomes more easy when there are more beams in the frame. So now what you have to see is, this is blue, that means it is already selected. Then these beams are selected, so they are red. Now you can see here there the command assign to selected beams is there. Then you click assign. So you have to choose yes. Now it is assigned. Now let us go to the circular cross section. So in the circular cross section, you select beams parallel to what? Y, because we will be selecting the columns. Then assign to selected beams, it is there. The columns are selected and this is blue, so it is selected. Now click assign. Yes. So now we have given the cross sections. So now you do the 3D rendering. You can see that the cross sections are given, isn't it? Now it looks much more realistic, isn't it? So this is how we make the frames. So this is done. So in the next video, what we will do is we will be discussing how to add the materials. So I would recommend that you please save this model in your laptop or desktop, and we will be continuing with this model in the further videos. So thank you very much. You can save it by just clicking file and save. It is already, you have already given a location, so it is now saved. So thank you very much.